Hey y'all, this is Nickel. Another episode for Wizard United. It's about night buses and fortresses 101. I'm just going to explain a little bit of the game mechanics and how to help you better play for group play with others. Alright, so I'm going to start by just telling you about each profession so that you know each piece of the puzzle to help you better play in the fortress. Let's start with Auror. It's a damage dealer with light defense and less health than other classes. It has unique charms. Now charms are the square buttons at the bottom. The green ones are for enhancements for you or your allies. Impairments are for your foes. So you just click and drag and drop them to either your ally or to your foe. Alright, Auror has a weakening hex which reduces damage by 50%. Bat-Bogey Hex which reduces your foe's health by 3 points. Focus Charm transfers focus that you currently have from you to an ally of your choosing. Confusion Hex reduces foe's defense by 60%, foe's dodge rate by 60%, and foe's defense breach rate by 60%. Specialization talents include having plus 10 power versus foes when they have 50% or less health, plus 10% defense when foes have 50% or less health. You have a 35% crit rate versus foes that have 100% health. You have 35% crit bonus at 100% health and 100% crit rate versus foes, like crit power versus foes at 100% health. The difference in those two is one is the chance to crit, and the other one is how much bonus damage you have. 25% critical cash rate versus Death Eaters. And 20% extra protego power versus dark wizards. So that helps kind of defensively on the dark wizards. Some keynotes is Aurors have a base power of 100 once maxed out. Has a high crit rate versus foes with 100% health. So you want to hit them first before you do Bat-Bogey Hex. At the beginning of a match, you start with 4, so you want to give 3 of your focus to a professor so they can do proficiency. Which increases your damage versus your specific foes. Alright, next class, profession, Magizoologist. It's a healer, high defense, high stam. Its unique charms are Stamina Charm, which recovers 30% of an ally's health, or yourself. Mending Charm, which heals for 4 health points, which isn't very much. Do it at your leisure. You have the Bravery Charm, which we also call the Elite buff. It increases your power versus elites by 150%. You have Revive Charm, revives an ally to 100% when it's maxed out. It's more efficient to do Revive versus healing because the Stamina Charm requires 2 focus and a Revive requires 1 focus. Specializations for a Magizoologist is plus 10 power when you're above 50% health, plus 6% defense when you're above 50% health. You get plus 40 power when you have 5 focus or greater, and you have 15% extra defense when you have 5 focus or greater. And then you inherit 20% defense versus spiders, and then plus 25 damage versus earthlings. Kind of only restriction. And of course, this is a maxed out Magizoologist. So some key takeaways for that is you want to stay at 5 or greater focus, so you're strong and so you do more damage and you take less damage. Revive allies versus healing them. Some stipulations to that is if you already did the bravery buff and you're at like 7 focus and someone's about to die, I mean you can toss a heal out because at that point you just need to stay above 7. Alright, and then mend when you're available, which is the small heal. It's good for an achievement. You start with 5 focus. So there's a lot of elites at the beginning. You could ask your Auror for some focus, but it's usually best to go proficiency first, if possible. You can also pop in Invigoration Drought to do it yourself. Alright, profession. It's a balanced wizard. It's kind of based on enhancements and impairments. It makes it stronger. It has multiple specializations, but I'll start with the charms first. It has Deterioration Hex. When it's maxed out, it does 40 damage per turn. So like when you attack a mob, it adds 40, and when a mob attacks you, it does 40. As well as if there's Auror outside tossing Bat-Bogey Hex, it does the damage of the Bat-Bogey plus 40. So if they have it at maxed out 3, it'll do 43 per Bat-Bogey. And if you have multiple Aurors doing it, you can see how that adds up. All right, Mending Charm is kind of like the Magic Zoologist one. It does, when it's maxed out, it does 4 health points to an ally. Protection Charm is 30% defense when it's maxed out, so that's really good. Proficiency Charm is plus 44% proficiency, which increases, increases your power that much. It's good to pop that at the beginning. Helps out a lot. All right, you get plus 5 power when a foe has 1 impairment. You get plus 5 power when you have 1 enhancement. You get plus 12 power when you have at least 2 enhancements. You get plus 12 power when the foe has at least 3 impairments. You get plus 6% defense when the foe has at least 1 impairment. You get plus 9% defense when the foe has 2 impairments. You get another plus 6% defense when you have 1 enhancement, like proficiency, bravery, or defense. You get another plus 9% defense when you have 2 enhancements. And then also there's the option of 30% accuracy versus pixies and 30% defense breach versus werewolves, because they have a lot of defense. All right, keynotes for the Professor. Cast proficiency to increase damage in 2 different ways. One is 44% to yourself, of course, for things you're proficient against, but plus as you have the enhancement on, you do extra damage and you get extra defense. All right, shield yourself or allies is the second thing after proficiency. The order kind of depends on the situation. If you're outnumbered and you have more like werewolves and pixies on the board versus everybody else, you probably want to start with yourself first to make you stronger. If you only have 1 Magic Zoologist and you're in the higher chambers, you might want to put the defense on him so that they don't die. Deterioration Hex, I would say you want to put that on foes that has the highest swings. And when I say that, I mean like acromantulas, werewolves, probably Death Eaters, since they have like the most stamina. So it takes longer to fight them because it's probably less as useless, efficient, since it costs 3 focus if you put it on like a pixie or Urkling, because usually you can kill those in 2 or 3 hits. So that means they're only getting like 6, negative 40s damage is done to them versus something else that could take 10 or 12 little rotations of fighting would get 12 rotations times 40 times 2. Does that make sense? Anyway, all right. So if you're bored, you can mend allies. There's an achievement for doing special spells, strategic spells. You start off with 4 focus. You're stronger with more enhancements on you and impairments on the foe you're fighting. Alrighty. Now, who fights what? Proficiency, neutral, deficiency. Aurors are strong versus dark wizards and Death Eaters. They're neutral to pixies and werewolves. They are deficient to Urklings and Acromantulas. Magic Zoologists are great versus Urkling Acromantulas, neutral to dark wizards, Death Eaters, and weak against pixies and werewolves. Professors are strong versus pixies and werewolves, neutral to Urklings and Acromantulas, and weak to dark wizards and Death Eaters. Whew, that's a lot. All right, now for the night bus. Once you get on the night bus or the fortress, you'll be able to pick a level in chamber. The higher you go, the harder it is. Once you start to get probably mid-forest area is probably where you want to be in a group, because once you fight something you're deficient to, you're going to waste a lot of energy. For example, if you're at Magic Zoologist and you fight a werewolf, your max damage is 109, and it has defense breach, so you probably do a little less than that. So if it has 2,000 or 3,000 health, you're going to be swinging for a while, like 20 turns. Each turn is kind of like roughly 10 seconds. You're going to be in that one werewolf for like minutes. Anyway, so let's go over some videos. All right, we're gonna start off with the professor. So as you can see, it starts with 4 focus. If you look in the top, you'll start to see a flash. That means someone's giving me focus. Well, giving CJ Neal focus, and then she does the proficiency buff. She goes after the pixie first because they die quick. This current state, she has 1 buff, and the pixie has no buffs. But if you look on the right, it has dodge and I think more damage as a buff. So currently she has 1 enhancement. Going after pixies. Alright, look like I just saw another buff go up. It's probably the bravery. And the shield is up. So currently CJ's at 3 enhancement, and it's a werewolf, and it has 2 impairments. So she is doing a lot of damage. And is she taking damage? She might be invincible. Well, the mob's dead now. So she's going after werewolves now that she's kind of strong with the 3 enhancements, and then there's 1 impairment on this one. I think it's the Bat-Bogey. Not the Bat-Bogey, Confusion Hex, because werewolves have defense, so this reduces their defense. So CJ can do more damage. In group play, as focus is coming along, she's giving out shields. They cost 3 focus. So usually as she gets 3 focus, she just dragged and dropped focus on someone else and took a pixie. Usually once everybody's shielded, then the deterioration hexes come out. So it kind of helps if the Auror has free focus to give. Currently, looking at the field, there's nothing that she's proficient against, but like Earthlings are kind of the next neutral target since she doesn't take extra damage, but she put a deterioration hex on it, so that's what she was waiting for, to get that 3 focus, so she can put it on the Earthling, so she can do an extra 80 damage per rotation. So every time she attacks, it does an extra 40 upon whatever she was going to do, and then as soon as the Earthling hits her, it takes off 40 as well. Looking at the field, there's a werewolf up there. 1 hit. There's a spider. She put the deterioration hex on it, but the Magizoologist hopped on it, so now she's just kind of chilling out. Nothing else to hex. And victory. Alright, look at another match. She just got 7 focus, so she popped proficiency. There's a werewolf out there. She's going to hop on it. So currently she has 1 enhancement. Shout out to CJ Neal 76. Alright, 3 pixies and a werewolf. She put a shield on herself. And going for the pixie. I think she goes for the pixies first to get that focus going for everybody. Another buff just went up. I believe it was bravery. So now she has 3 buffs. And she crit and almost one-shot the pixie. I think if that pixie had 1 impairment, she probably did a little more damage and probably killed it. As you can see, the pixies aren't dodging her because she has she's max professor, so she has accuracy. She also has defense breach, so there's a lot of impairments on this werewolf. So she has 3, so she is doing a lot of damage, and I believe she is invincible right now, so she's not taking any damage. How you get invincible? Pretty much increase your defense past 100%. I'll do another video on that later. Alright, victory. Alright, so now, okay, one more professor kind of walkthrough. So that gives you some different angles and to see why she does what she does as a professor. Hope that helps you in any case. Dun, dun, dun. I think they were tired of waiting for somebody, so they just went ahead and went. 3-man group. There's also a way to join a night bus with 3 of your friends. I'll do another video on that. So proficiency, first thing going. Everything's elite right now, so it doesn't do good to hop in it and take extra damage. There's a 5-star Urkling, but it dodges her because she doesn't have she doesn't have accuracy for Urklings, so she might get dodges on that, unless the Auror does a confusion hex. First pixie's up, 4-star. She goes for it. Currently 1 enhancement and no impairments. Alright, she has 4 focus, so she just gave a shield to the Magi Zoologist and then went for a pixie. Focus comes a little slower when you have less people, so it's kind of fun to do it with 5 people max, so focus comes a lot quicker. She tossed off her last shield to the Auror. She's looking at the field. She sees a 4-star werewolf. Has 1 impairment on it, so that gives her a little bit of damage and a little bit of defense. Currently she does not have a shield, so it's hitting her a little hard. Focus just came out. She's 1 away from being able to toss 1 more defense charm. I believe bravery just went up. She's going to pop a health potion. Oh yeah, potions are clutch. You can use them. You can use a few on the lobby screen and then the others while you're inside of the foe. I think this is an elite werewolf. You can see the buffs at the top. You can click the buffs at the top and it'll give you a tooltip on what it does. What was that? Got a little beep. Alright, she killed the werewolf. She tossed defense on everybody to make sure, since everybody has defense, now she's starting to use deterioration hex. She put it on the spider. I believe this werewolf has 2 impairments. I believe it's weakening and confusion. She just got a heal, if I looked at that right. And she decided to take, she communicated that she could take the Acromantula because the person doing the Acromantula was weak to it, and she does more damage and takes less damage. Alright, I'm just going to let the Magi finish that off, and that's a little bit on how to play a professor. Alright, next up, back to me. I'm playing a Magi Zoologist. I think this was on the community day. If there's a choice for Urkling or Spider, I usually go for Spiders first because they don't dodge, so that means the Auror doesn't have to use their focus to do the dodge hex. They could use it on something for the professor since they're usually focus starved at the beginning, so it's better to toss that focus on something for the professor while the Magi can tank the Magi Zoologist. Of course I got a shield first, so currently I'm taking no damage at all. 100% defense, invincible. I just popped the bravery charm because there's a lot of elites out there. Of course it brought me below 5 focus. Normally you don't want to go below 5 focus, but seeing that the field is majority elites, it's easier for everybody else to kill their stuff quicker. Seeing that majority of the elites wasn't for me, and I'm waiting a little bit because I don't have 5 focus I think somebody was close to dead, so I tossed a couple mins. So even being below 5 focus, I still do a lot of damage. I believe someone's about to die. I'm kind of watching for them, so I can res them quickly. Okay, they died, so I res them. I think I'm waiting for one more death and res them. Then I'm gonna hop on the spider. And oh, that's the reason. I forgot. I got all my elites, so I beat the spiders down enough for everybody else to take the elites. I forgot I was skipping those. But in normal circumstances, if nobody needs elites, then I would just go ahead and kill the spider. So a couple heals, a couple mins. I believe our Auror also is almost, I think they're done with their elites. So I just took a couple hits on it to wear it down a little bit. And victory. Alright, here's the last match for my Magizoologist. I'm just going over a couple different matches per profession so you can kind of see how it goes, since there's always a different set of foes. Currently there's nothing out there for me, so I'm kind of sitting around. It doesn't feel like it's not that I'm not doing anything, it's just conserving energy, because if we're doing a lot of these in the higher chambers, it's just more efficient to kind of hold off for a second. And the other reason is Auror, which I'm neutral against. Normally if the Auror does a one hit on all the mobs, it's way more damage than me just nicking away at it at 109 a hit. So normally if the Auror needs help, I'll say hop in and just do a one hit, and they'll probably take off 30% of the health, and then I'll work on the other stuff. So currently this is a boring match. I got the 7 focus. Since I wasn't really doing much fighting, I just popped the bravery fairly quickly. Finally a spider pops up for me, but I think someone's about to die, so I waited on that. So I'm tossing a mend on it, on him, her. But once they flatline, I'll hop on mine. So I res them, then I hop on the spider. Now I'm not at the greatest spot since I'm below 5 focus, but I got a potent potion on. I realized that, that's why I hopped back out, waiting to get that 5 focus, so that potion to get a better benefit on a hit. I think something's about to die, so at that point I hop back on the spider, so I got that 5 focus. So that was a hard hit on the spider. And normally if you have a potion, how do I say it? You could, let's say if that potion that you're going to hit for is going to do more damage than what the mob has left, and you have more foes to fight, I would hop out and just hit another foe. It's a strategy used by Aurors as well. Pop a potion and hit things one time and hop out. You can do it without taking damage too, is nice. But then whoever hops into that foe will take the hit. I think I have one spider left. I think it's so low that it can be Bat-Bogeyed, so I'm not sure if I hop back in it or not. Bat-Bogeyed? Yeah, okay. Then I hop in it. Last few mobs. Like I said, normally I heal when I'm above. Like after doing bravery, I heal after I have like 7 focus or more. depending if someone's about to die. If they're about to die, I usually just wait and revive them. But if everybody's hovering around 50%, and I have enough focus, it's better for me to just drop it on someone. Alright, this is going to be for the Auror class. Got my Discord up, so that's what's the overlay. So I'm Auror, I give 3 focus to the Professor. Currently there's a 5-star werewolf, so I give a weakening hex to that. Nothing for me to fight realistically, so I do Bat-Bogey Hex onto Death Eater. Is that Death Eater? Yeah, Death Eater that another Auror is fighting. Just kind of waiting for something I could fight. Now, I left my AR on accidentally and didn't know how to turn it off at that point in time because as you can see, it's not on the entrance of when I encountered the foe. I realized it's when you click on a foe before entering, there's actually an AR option on the right. Anyway, I can't see it because I click so fast that I just don't notice. So I click, and it gets me into the mob. So I didn't know how to turn it off for a while. But if you just click once and wait, you'll see AR on and off. During that last go round, I did toss hexes around and confusion. Normally I go for confusion on like 4 or 5-star dark wizards, and then weakening hex on Death Eaters, weakening hex on werewolves. Magi zoologists, for the most part, if they're maxed out and they have a defense, they don't need weakening hex on acromantula, because they're invincible at that point and they really take little damage. Even if they don't have a shield, they take little damage from spiders. So if you have extra focus at that point, give it to the Professor so they can do deterioration hex. Alright, so I got a lot of focus on this one. Give focus to Earthling, Dark Wizard. Think about the die soon. We'll see. I think there's a few mobs that already had hexes on them. That's why I didn't toss them out. Kind of failed on my part. Should have gave it to the Professor. But I'm not sure if this was the round where they said they were max on energy or not. So, or everything was already deterioration hexed. But probably fell on my part. Should have gave it to the Professor. Yeah, ton of focus this round. But this might have been one of the ones where I was probably paying more attention to the conversation we were having on Discord and not paying attention to the game as much. Now I'm just giving away focus to get rid of it, but they can't use it because everything's hexed. And I'm doing Bat-Bogey because it has deterioration hex, and yeah, just more damage. Help knock out this spider. Victory. Alright, round number 2. Doing a dark 4. I think that was a dark 4. Alright, so giving 3 focus to the Professor. And confusion hex to the dark wizard. The reason I do this is because they have defense and defense breach. So that reduces that. So you see I just got a shield, so that means they do less damage to me and I do more damage to them. Alright, checking the field, I put it on the 5-star Earthling, I give a focus to Professor, and check the area. Now, Death Eaters don't do that much damage to me when I have a shield on, so I can fight it. But if I had a weakening hex, it would do even less. But since I have a shield, I'd rather use that focus to the Professor or versus put it on a foe that actually needs an impairment, like 5-star werewolves, pixies, or Earthlings. Now there's a lot going on in this one. There's a lot of elites. I'm trying to drag and drop the stuff. Some stuff already has hexes. I believe we have another Auror. Yeah, trust me. This was one of those nights where AR plus. I mean, it's okay, but you save battery when you don't use it. All right, trying to look and see what to put impairments on. Then when it looks like everything's kind of hexed, or then it's time to fight something. So I fought the Earthling just to get the one hit, just to do a little damage. Because I don't think there's a lot out there for me. Because I think I would have communicated, hey, res me if I need to be res, but there really isn't much for me. So I gave the rest of my focus to the professors so they can do deterioration hex on things. Now my first hit's a crit. Now I'm not proficient versus werewolves, but it did do a little damage. Probably like 250 maybe. Now I'm just doing Bat-Bogey Hex to do damage to help out my comrades. Yeah. Bat-Bogey. And there's, like I said, everything's hexed or impairment, has an impairment that can be given, so I just have 2 focus. Sometimes I just give it away to people. But I completed that achievement for strategic spells, so victory. Alright, I think this might be the last Auror match. Like I said, focus. There's 2 professors, I believe 2 Aurors. So one professor's doing the proficiency, another one's doing a shield. Currently there are elites out. 4-star werewolf. Nothing for me per se. I'm kind of holding on the focus just in case the Magizu needs it, and I give it to the Magizu so they can pop the bravery. So now that bravery's up, people can start doing elites more efficiently. Still nothing for me, finally. Death Eater. Crit. Like I said, a tip is not to do Bat-Bogey on a mob before going into it, because if you do, that's 3 damage. That puts them at 99%, and you don't get the extra crit chance and crit power bonus. A lot of things have hexes, so I'm giving it to professors at this point. And I kind of usually save 1 for a hex just in case something for me spawns, so I can, what do you call it, fight it a little easier. Yep, not a lot for me. The beasts I'm weak to, they do a lot of damage to me, so yeah, kind of, we don't really hop on other mobs like this that have down arrows unless it's crunch time, and crunch time is like 2 minutes left. And usually that's when you want to pop like potions to help out. I recommend the small stimulo and the strong. Only time I would use a potent is if, for example, there's 5-star werewolf or acromantula and it's like a minute left. Maybe a minute 20. Alright. Okay, one more match, I guess. So as I said at the beginning, focus for that proficiency, because I have to do another video to explain the calculations, but it's really worth it to get that proficiency up. La-di-da. Defense, proficiency, and weakening hex. Like I said, you can click the little squares and see what the tooltip of what they are. Bravery just went up. Put a hex on 3 things, 4 things. One hit, dead. Down for the count. But as you can see, I'm already resin alive, because I explained that I had 1 hit left, so the Magizoologist was ready to revive me. So when I get out on my screen, I'm already up and ready to go back in. Communication is the key to a good teamwork and relationship, I hear. And it did a weird bug where I killed it and it didn't die, so I think I hit the X button, or the exit thing. I put my hexes up and give the rest of the focus to the professor. Depending on the scenario, it might be good to use weakening hex on dark wizards, because they do hit hard. But to me, I'm more of offensive, so usually I go for the confusion hex to reduce their defense and damage towards me. But I feel like I can kill them before they kill me. So, and if I was playing defensively, I would do weakening hex first. And that's it. That's how you play Auror. As always, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, found it useful, like and subscribe. Any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Until the next one, peace.